Weed identification plays a critical role in land care. A mobile app that can accurately identify weeds in the field will provide users with a highly convenient tool. The SeeWeed app will be developed specifically for bush care groups around Australia. Unlike other apps that are limited to common weed types, the SeeWeed app has been designed to allow authorized users to add less common weeds to the database. The following use case diagram illustrates how this is done. An administrator firstly logs into their account and then updates the database by adding the name of the weed, an image of the weed, and a short description of how it can be managed. There is also the option for retraining the object identification model by adding multiple images of the weed's leaves. To identify a weed, a typical user would firstly log into their account and then search the app's database. This can be done by either browsing the database using the text query function or the object identification function. Object identification will be the most novel and convenient way for users to identify weeds. After the user has taken a photograph of a leaf from the weed, it will be displayed in the user interface alongside the name of the weed, an image from the database, and a description of how it can be managed. For this function to work, users will need to photograph the leaf against a white background. One of the most important features of the app will be object identification. This will be supported by a Python machine learning model. The model was tested using a small data set that includes 3 plant species. These are miniature Morea, privet, and lily-pilly. Lily-pilly is a native plant, but it was selected because its leaf shape is similar to privet. To ensure consistency across all of the images, each leaf was placed in the center square of the compositional grid of my camera. It will be expected that users will use the same approach. The data set was split into a test set and a train set, as can be seen in these folders. The Python machine learning model runs in Notebook and relies on the TensorFlow and Keras modules. To begin, we load the relevant modules and then assign the file paths to the correct locations. Each image is then given a label and converted into a NumPy array. The images are then loaded into a variable. And when this occurs, we can then start running the machine learning model. The machine learning model runs over 50 epochs. For each epoch, the model adjusts the parameter value to minimize loss. This takes some time, so we're going to fast forward this section. After the model has been trained, we receive an accuracy of around 95%. We can now use the test data to test the model. As we can see, the model was able to accurately identify each plant type, even lily-pilly, which has a more rounded yet similar shaped leaf to privet. If the proposed app is developed, it'll provide bush care groups around Australia with a convenient weed identification tool that can be configured to meet local requirements.